And good evening, Star Wars fans. We come into you live tonight with another retro event. As you can see, we are in the middle of the game right now. We have Justin Decide versus darkdeal44. If anybody on the chat could let me know who his real name is, that would be great. I believe it's Kevin. So they are currently in the middle of their game. We are on Justin's second turn. We have Justin playing Throne Room versus Kevin's. Looks like he started the Dagobah Cave as his starting site. Justin going with Insurrection, Staging Areas, and Wise Advice. Kevin going with Imperial Arrest Order, Mobilization Points, Impressive Enforcement. And here we go. Again, we are on Justin's turn 2. We see that Justin got Goonie Tay out on his early in the game, and we see an Abyss from Kevin. So again, we are early on in the game. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties over here after Hollow Theater, but again, I apologize for that. But here we go. Justin has out a few docking bays. Looks like he's got the docking bay on Wakelium, or Wakelium, Mui, Wakelium, whatever that system is. A few docking bays from Kevin as well. Okay, here we go. Kevin's second turn. Justin's activating 7 a turn right now. Kevin's activating 8. Real difference coming from the fact that the Dagobah Cave activates 2. You get 2 Force icons, and Throne Room only getting 1. Okay, thanks for everybody who's sticking around after Hollow Theater. Okay, there's the Executor docking bay as well as blast door controls. Okay, start with Kevin's turn. So back over to Desai. Okay, Justin has a 12-card hand. Both players are saving force, being wary of the Grimtosh and the Monarch. Okay, there's the Yavin 4 War Room from Justin, as well as the Hawk docking bay. Justin has both of his war rooms on the table. And there's a restricted deployment from Justin, card that we don't see a lot of today. Use 3 force to deploy on their side of the tables. All opponent's warriors deploy +1. So with Goonie Tay and the restricted deployment, it's going to add a lot of force cost to all of Kevin's warriors. So Vader's going to cost a lot to come down. Tarkin. Even the Emperor costs a little bit more. Okay, security precautions coming down to add to Kevin's activation. Activating 11 right now. Both players sitting at 11 force. And there's Admiral Ozzel coming down to the Death Star docking bay. So mobilization points is on the table. So he's getting some more force there. And there's the CNR fleet systems. And there's Boba Fett. Boba Fett coming down for 8 force due to Goonie Tay and the restricted deployment. He usually costs 5, but because of those 2 effects, he comes down for an additional 3. Okay, just as going to spend 3 force, play the signal. Again, people had to use the signal before. And there's Revolution coming down to that Dagobah, the cave. So that now Justin gets the activation from the cave. And just to play out of commission to put that prepared defensive out of play. So he cycles a card back into his deck. Looks like he played the Tunnel Vision there to pull a card. And there's the Monarch. So he's got Kevin's using the Monarch Lost here. And we can see what Justin has in his hand. We had orders to engage Lieutenant Blount, Draw the Fire, Luke Slaber, Battle Plan, Obi-Wan's lightsaber, Urmako. What are you trying to push on us? Obi-Wan, Leia, Chewbacca, and Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. So no doubles. So Kevin paid 4 to hit Justin with the Monarch, but Justin doesn't have any doubles. But we did see some information regarding Justin's hand there. Okay, and Kevin's going to draw some cards. So he activates, uses the Monarch, and now he's drew up to 11 cards in his hand, saving 5. Justin, and now we have Justin's turn. It looks like in the room right now, Court of the Vile Gangster has joined. Okay, so here we go. Lieutenant Plump coming down to the Death Star docking bay to face down Ozzel and Boba Fett. Again, we did see what Justin had in his hand. He had Obi-Wan. There's the Obi-Wan. Barrier from Kevin. Justin does have the grabber. Again, he has an Obi-Wan's lightsaber and Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, in his hand. Okay, again, Obi-Wan cannot battle. He cannot move. He cannot really do much of anything here. Let's see if... Okay, Justin does play the Luke Skywalker. And Kevin has another barrier. So he's had 2 barriers in his hand. He has to pay 1 for the first one and 3 for the second one. So both Obi-Wan and Luke are barriered. We did say that Justin had both their lightsabers in his hand, though. And there's the order to engage from Justin. Okay, Justin's going to play balanced attack, so he's going to be able to take an Admiral into his hand. There goes Admiral Akbar out of his deck. So it looks like he is playing the Home 1 package in his deck. But right now, with the only system being a non-battleground, that Home 1's going to be really not doing much for Justin. Okay, Kevin's going to lose 3 to the order to engage. He loses Masterful Move, Janus, and Imperial Command, all from his use pile. And he is going to run away. So, Boba Fett and the Admiral Ozzel both go to Cloud City. General Veers is sitting by himself over at Endor. Okay, Justin's going to drain. He's going to be able to drain for 1, and then it's going to be an additional 2 because of the 2 lightsabers there. So it is a drain of 3 for Justin. Okay, there goes a Crush the Rebellion off the top. Weapons. There goes Weapons Levitation. And they'll be held to pay, so he loses 2 cards off the top of his reserve deck, as well as they'll be held to play. And Imperial Propaganda drops down onto the docking bay. So if you occupy at least 2 battlegrounds and opponent and just lost more than 2 force to a force strand at a location, deploy on that location. Opponent loses 2 force for each Imperial Propaganda on the table, so Justin has to lose 2. He loses Honor of the Jedi and Gunite. He loses the Honor from the top of his deck, so wasn't able to get that onto the table. That would have helped him with that 2 force loss. Okay, here comes Oromako. See if Kevin has anything to respond with. Nope, he does not yet. There's a Leia joining Oromako. And there is the Draw Their Fire. So that Gunite that Justin lost, he'll be able to get put back into his deck. I'm not a little sure why he didn't lose the Gunite first. Then he could have retrieved the Honor. But this is Justin, so I assume he has a plan here. Okay, here we go. We have a battle. It's going to be 1 Destiny in favor of Justin Desai, no Destiny in favor of Kevin. Again, Justin could... Oh, he does not get to... he does get to retrieve, and Kevin loses Come Here You Big Coward. So... Oh, Kevin responds with the Emperor's Shield as react, so he then gets to retrieve 3. So he retrieves his Come Here You Big Coward, they'll be how to pay, and the weapon left. Leia will shoot Veers. He draws 4 for Destiny. That will hit the general. And as you can see by the animation, he is shot through the face. And Justin draws a 4 for Battle Destiny. So it's going to be 11-3 with a difference of 8. So it is going to be the shield, and 3 extra force. So Oromako does have a response here. Kevin has to lose 2 force additional to the 3 that he's going to take an overflow. Or the 2 he's going to take an overflow. Okay, there goes the Weapon Levitation that he just retrieved. And they'll be held to pay. There goes the shield, and there goes the Veers. So let's see what Kevin loses to the battle damage here. He loses an Propaganda and the Emperor's Sword, and that battle is now over. So now we are on to Justin Desai's move phase. Let's see if he wants to move that Obi-Wan, that Lieutenant Blount, and that Luke. He does. He goes over to Cloud City with them, and he just draws 1 card. So Justin currently has 4 cards in his hand. Kevin has 6 cards. Justin's going to draw 1 more card, so he brings his hand up to 5 now. And we now move on over to Kevin's turn. Kevin's checking out his deck. He doesn't see any docking bays in there, so Justin does get a free verify. Justin pointing out that 11 for Lord Vader would be a lot. I do agree. unless you're going to throw him down to Endor. Yeah, who I will say the GEMP team in this interface is really nice. And Jared, you are correct with the activation. That revolution really hurt Kevin here. Let's see what Kevin's going to do. So he is in a little bit of a tricky situation. Does he want to take the drain of the 3 next turn, plus the additional 2 from order to engage? Nope, he's going to come down with Darth Vader, the Emperor's Enforcer. Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. I'm so used to Emperor's Enforcer. So Vader coming down for 9 force. And we do have our second battle of the game. Vader, Ozzel, and Boba Fett, just like in the movies, against Luke, Obi-Wan, and Lieutenant Blount. Kevin retrieves the Emperor's sword, and Justin will lose the signal. Okay, Vader's going to attempt to choke the Lieutenant. There goes the Lieutenant. So the Lieutenant does go to the lost pile there. Obi-Wan swings at Ozzel. Draws a 1 for the first Destiny. And draws a 1 for the second Destiny. So Ozzel survives a lightsaber. Wow. That is pretty crazy right there. 2 1s in a row for Justin Desai. And Vader's going to swing his lightsaber at Obi-Wan. Draws a 4 for the first Destiny. He only needs a 3 to hit Obi-Wan here. Now, and he draws a 1. Obi-Wan will not be hit. So now the question is, will Justin risk it and go for Vader or Fett, or will he just want to go for Ozzel? Luke's going to go for Ozzel here. So Vader does have a little bit of immunity. Draws a 2 for the first Destiny. As long as he doesn't draw a 0, he should be able to hit that Admiral. And draws a 5 for the second Destiny. So if he would have swung at Vader or Fett, he would have hit either of them. But instead, Justin just decides to go for the easier target. And there's an I have you now from Kevin too. But we see that Justin has the sense. Will we see a sense war? We do not see a sense war. There's the they'll be hell to pay. And Justin does have the sense go through. So both players are only drawing 1 Destiny. And because Impressive Enforcement is on the table, that I have you now will go to the use pile. Okay, there's a 5. So Obi-Wan is not immune. So Obi-Wan is going to have to go lost. But Luke will be able to stick around. Let's see what Justin draws here. Justin draws a 4, so Justin will lose the battle, but so Luke and Vader will stick around. Okay, the Admiral goes lost. The Obi-Wan goes lost. No A Jedi's Resilience in print yet, so Obi-Wan does just go lost. And Boba Fett will go lost as well. So just like the movies, it's going to be Luke versus his dad. Will the son triumph over his father, or will Daddy spank Luke here? Here we go on to Justin's next turn. He activates 20, saving 7 in his reserve deck. He is going to be able to drain for 1 at the Endor docking bay. He just does that. Now, Justin only has a 4-card hand, so let's see what he's got in his hand to reinforce Luke with. He comes down with Chewbacca. the original OG Chewbacca, and Han with Heavy Blaster Pistol. And because Han is with Luke, he does add a Destiny. Admiral Akbar coming down as well. So that is a lot of power going to be against that lone Vader. Again, Vader can choke Chewie, he could choke Han, or he could choke the Admiral. Most likely, and the best target for him to go to is the Han here. Okay, we have a battle from Justin. Again, we're going to see Justin retrieve one, and we're going to see Kevin lose one. Kevin loses Darth Vader with lightsaber from the top of his reserve deck. Now, I kind of think he's happy about seeing that card go. Up there's the force field, so Luke tries to swing at Vader. Vader says, "No, not today, sonny boy," and dodges the lightsaber with the force field. The force field goes to the use pile. Now, Kevin's turn. Will he go after Han? Will he go after Chewie? Again, Han makes the most sense here, so he is going after Han. He needs a 3 to get rid of that Han Solo. He draws a 5, so just like in the movies, Vader overpowers Han, and Han goes to the lost pile. Again, he is currently down by 6 to 11 in power difference, though. Again, see what Justin can do right now. He's only getting 1 Destiny. Okay, we move over to Kevin's turn. Kevin searches with mobilization points. He wants to make sure that he has enough high Destiny here. So I can assume that he's going to go after Luke here. And Vader is going to swing at Luke. He needs a greater than a 7 to hit Luke. Draws a 2, so that's really not going to do it. He needs the magical 6. Will it be a masterful move? Will it be the Emperor? Most likely it will not. And he draws a 1, so he would only hit Chewbacca. So no, neither of the characters are hit. There's a 4 for Destiny from Justin Desai. Draws a 4, so he's got 21 in power to 6 before Kevin draws his Destiny. And there's the 6. It is an Imperial propaganda as a 6, but unfortunately for him, it is drawn as a battle Destiny. Now, it does bring him up to 12, so he is down by 9, and Vader does forfeit for 8, so he's only going to have to lose 1 in this battle. Lucky draw. And there goes Vader with his lightsaber. Luke and Chewie are going to be able to stick around, and Kevin still has to lose 1 card on top of this. And he's going to lose IG-88 with Riot Gun from the top of his reserve deck. So, overall, that worked out really well for Kevin. But now Justin gets to be able to reinforce cards into his hand, as he has 6 cards left in his force pile. And then on his next turn, he's going to be able to draw a drain for 2 and 1. But before we go over into his next turn, let's start over with Justin's next turn. And all Kevin's going to do is draw a few cards. Again, because he's only getting 9 in activation, he doesn't really have a lot to work with. And now, he does save 4 here. And there's a Twi'lek. He does play Twi'lek Advisor to go pull a card. Justin does grab it. And he isn't taking a card yet. Just so everyone knows, earlier Matt Lutz had to step out after the during the Hollow Theater episode. That was due to a tornado warning. Just so everyone knows, Matt is safe. Okay, here we go. Drain of 2 at Cloud City. There goes a 4-lum with concussion rifle from Kevin's hand, as well as a Twilight Advisor from the used pile. And there's drain of 1 at the indoor docking bay, or the landing platform. Kevin loses Search and Destroy off the top of his used pile. So it looks like Kevin was made to play against hidden base. Like, it looks like this deck was more designed to play against hidden base. Evident by the Abyss, by the Search and Destroy, the security precautions. Okay, Oramako and Leia do a docking bay transport over to the Spaceport docking bay. And Justin's going to draw a few cards. So Justin is really in control of this match. And it all started with that revolution on the Dagobah Cave. That now limited Kevin to what he can do. He is only activating 9 force, and that really hurts him. Revolution is a dirty, dirty card that somebody should get rid of, or at least shield. Okay, there we go. Presence of the Force being deployed onto the Masasi base war room. So again, that is going to make it a 3-1 site. Again, so let's see what Kevin wants to do here. And there's the Emperor coming down. Now that does give him 2 more force to work with during his activate phase. And he is throwing around a drain of 3, but that might be a little bit too late. Now, the Emperor did have to come down for 7 force due to the Gunite. The restricted deployment did not come into effect as the Emperor is not a warrior. Okay, here we go. We have a drain of 1 at the Spaceport docking bay. There goes another Monarch. So Kevin has 2 Monarchs in his hand. Again, like I said, this deck looks like it was made to beat down hidden base. There goes Disarmed and a Twilight Advisor, both off the top of the deck. So Kevin is down to 11 force in life force. He's got 4 cards in hand. Justin, on the other hand, has 7 in hand and 21 in his life force. Okay, there's a Tunnel Vision. So Justin is looking for a specific card out of his deck. Now, both players are moving relatively fast, if you notice. Like, the timer did start with more than enough time from both players. Again, both players are moving relatively fast. So, that is pretty good. I'm glad to see both players are moving really fast. Okay, the Emperor is going to look for his Force Lightning. No Force Lightning to be found. And Obi-Wan with Han and Han come down to the Masasi base war room to fight down this Emperor. But will Justin initiate here? He does. Power 9-4 in favor of Justin. Justin will retrieve his Tunnel Vision, and Kevin is going to have to lose a card here. Okay, there goes a main course from Kevin's hand, a card I haven't seen in a long time. Cancels frozen assets if opponents, alien and rebel, are in the same battle together without a protocol droid. Draw one destiny, 2 if the rebels haunt, and subtract that amount from opponent's attrition and total power. So not a bad card. So Justin draws a 0 for his battle destiny, and Kevin draws a 4 or 6. So that's pretty significant. Now again, Han will be able to cover that 6. I don't think he knows that it's coded. So Han goes to the lost pile, and Obi-Wan does stick around. So Justin did retrieve a card and then set a card lost due to the battle, and Kevin had to lose just a single card, and Obi-Wan retreats. Interesting. Now, again, Justin is going to be taking a drain of 3 here. And we are into Kevin's activate phase. Now, he is activating 11, and he's only got 11 cards left in his life force, so he will be able to activate everything out of his reserve deck into his force pile if he so chooses. And again, we are going to see him do a drain of 3 at that war room. Yep, there's the drain of 3. There goes Luke Skywalker. Your insight serves you well. And a balance attack, all from Justin's hand. So with this old format, with Bring It Before Me, it was really strong to use. It was really wise just to run even a single copy of Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, unless of course you're Matt Sokol. Darth Vader comes down to the Endor docking bay and then does a docking bay transport in front of Luke and Chewie. And we are into Justin's next turn. He is going to be able to drain for 1 at that spaceport docking bay. But let's see what he's going to do against that lone Vader. I'm not a big fan of that Vader coming down here. It is only saving him a drain of 2. So I don't know. I would have preferred Vader coming over here against Leia or Mako. Okay, there's Battle Plan and Civil Disorder coming down as well. Civil Disorder says, at the end of each opponent's deploy phase, if they did not deploy a card with ability, opponent loses 2. Effect loss if opponent has more cards with ability on table than you. Justin has 5 cards of ability on the table, and Kevin has only 2. Okay, so here we go. We have a battle at the Cloud City landing platform. There goes a Lord Vader off the top of Kevin's deck, and Justin retrieves the balanced attack. Again, Luke has a lightsaber. Let's see if he knows how to swing it here. And there's another force field, so that's why we saw Vader come down here. And there's another I Have You Now. So it does up. There's the sense from Justin. So no, I Have You Now. Justin draws a 4 for Battle of Destiny. So he's sitting at 18 to 6 right now. And there's... So he draws a 4 for... He draws the 4 to cancel. And then he draws Guni Te for his Battle Destiny. And that Destiny is 0 due to Abyss. So there goes Chewie. And now Kevin has to lose 3. So he's going to lose Come Here You Big Coward and General Taj. And Mara Jade the Emperor's Hand. So Vader did what he needed to against Luke. And now Justin reinforces. Okay, Justin does drop some more cards into his hand. And we are into Kevin's activate phase. He's got 2 force saved. Okay, now the game has slowed down a little bit. Okay, Kevin has to lose 2 force here. He's got no cards in his hand, so he's going to have to either lose from his reserve deck or his force pile. He decides to lose from his force pile. There goes the TIE Scout, and I Have You Now. Obi-Wan in front of the Emperor. Now, the Emperor does initiate against Obi-Wan, so that's going to be 2 Battle Destiny in favor of Kevin. Kevin retrieves 1. Justin loses 1. Justin loses the Masasi headquarters from his hand. Okay, there's the Destiny of 4 for Kevin. And a Destiny of 1. So that's going to break the immunity of Obi-Wan. And bring Kevin up to 9. So Justin needs to draw. Justin doesn't draw. He just loses the Obi-Wan. Okay, Vader is still in front of Ormako and Leia and Luke. So let's see if Kevin wants to keep the Vader there or if he's going to run away here. I want to say he's going to run away. Nope, we see another battle. So Kevin's going to retrieve with the draw their fire. He retrieves the TIE Scout. He's got no cards in hand. He's got no cards in the reserve deck. So it looks like he's just going to end this game here with Justin having 14 life force. And Justin doesn't draw any Destiny either. So there goes 2 force loss from Kevin. And there goes the Vader. He's got 1 extra battle damage to lose. And that's going to be his turn. Yep, he does draw the last card. He's got 4 cards left in his life force. Justin has 14. Justin is going to be doing 2 points of damage here in his control phase. Again, a little bit of an interesting situation there. I don't get any of it. Okay, and Justin does pay 3 to drain for 2. So that's going to bring Kevin down to... So he loses 1 card from hand, and he loses 1 from his life force, so he's down to 3 cards. And there is another Obi-Wan. Plays Weapon Levitation to search his reserve or his use pile for a weapon. No weapon there, so the Weapon Lev is going to go use. Justin checking his Destiny, seeing what he wants. Now, will he initiate here? He does. He retrieves launching the assault, and Kevin has to lose a card off the top. He's going to lose that Mara Jade's lightsaber, so he's only got 2 cards left. So it should be a full win for Justin by 16. So that's going to be 9. Kevin draws a 4. So he is going to be losing 1 here. And he does lose the force field that he just drew for Destiny. So Kevin can't drain. All he can do is, he could still initiate here to ping to do 1 point of damage to Justin, but Justin's probably going to lose it from his hand. But yeah, Civil Disorder comes into effect first, and that is going to be the game. That is game 1. So Justin does win game 1 by 16. Justin, and looks like Justin is going. They are ready to play game 2. Justin's going to be on his dark side. Kevin's going to be on his light side. Again, Justin decide won game 1 by 16. Okay. And here we go with game 2. Going right into game 2. Okay, it looks like it's going to be Hunt Down versus Profit. Two decks that are still seeing play nowadays. There's Amara Jade, the Emperor's Hand, and Jabba the Hutt coming down. Again, Justin won game 1 by 16. Okay, both players showing their starting interrupts. See the same starting interrupts that we normally see. There's an Imperial Arrest Order from Justin. Mobilization points. And the last one will be Crush the Rebellion. Okay. Kevin, on the other hand, plays heading for the Medical Frigate. He gets out Insurrection. Your insight serves you well, and wise advice. Justin Desai. So allstarz97 won the game 1 by 16. So here we go, game 2. Justin starts off with mobilization points. So he's going to take a card out of his deck. With that, he pulls out Rendalee. And we move back over to Desai. He takes the card out with Crush the Rebellion. He's going to take Evader out. That's a pretty good card to have in case your opponent is playing Revolution. And we're out into Justin's deploy phase. He's going to search out his deck for a docking bay. He should at least get one. And there's the Executor docking bay. There's that Rendalee that we just saw Justin take into his hand. Now, does he have a Vader? Nope, does not look like he's going to put down Vader this turn, but he is going to go get a lightsaber with that Mara Jade. So there's the Mara Jade's lightsaber. Now, again, he cannot initiate a Force Drain at the audience chamber until his opponent is on the 7 side of his objective. Okay, there goes Kevin's throwing away an Insight to take out an Endor or Death Star 2 effect into his hand. There is an Honor of the Jedi. So that will stop Visage of the Emperor unless Desai occupies 3 battlegrounds. And there's the Visage of the Emperor proc. So both players are going to have to lose a force. There goes a Run Luke Run from Kevin's hand. And Evader from Desai. So Justin takes out Evader from his deck and then loses it to the Visage. Okay, here we go. Kevin's turn. He activates 6. He's going to check out his reserve deck for a docking bay as well. Again, with this format, once those 2 cards, Imperial Arrest Order and Insurrection, came out, the usage of docking bays came very popular once the Endor set came out. Okay, there's the Hoth Home 1 docking bay. Justin plays Imperial Command from his hand to take out an Admiral or General. Again, no Grand Admiral Thrawn yet, but we could see a Admiral Ozzel. We could see Admiral Piet, and there's Admiral Piet coming down. Okay, we see the Honor of the Jedi. Now, again, that's going to negate any force loss for Kevin from Visage. And we see that he's going to draw a few cards. Now, that Honor of the Jedi is not immune to Alter, so if Desai has an Alter, he could use it here to cancel that, but no Alter yet. So we see that Desai loses Janice to the Visage Ping. Okay, here we go with Justin's next turn. Imperial Arrest Order to check out his reserve deck. There is the Endor docking bay. Let's see what version of Han Kevin is playing. Kevin is using Han with his heavy blaster pistol. Okay, Piet coming down to the Executor docking bay, so it's going to add +2 to Desai's activation. So he is generating 12 force right now. Kevin is activating 8. Okay, we see that there's the I have you now from the Crest of Rebellion. And now Justin is just drawing. So no early Vader for Justin, so he is going to have to lose some cards to his own Visage. And he will lose. You cannot hide forever from his hand. Okay, here we go with Kevin's next turn. Let's see what Kevin's going to do. First things first, he's probably going to get a docking bay. Okay, so here we go. We have a tunnel vision being played, so he's going to be able to take a card out of his force pile. Okay, Ben Kenobi comes down against the Mara and the Jabba the Hutt. Justin has the barrier, but the sense is played. There's someone who loves you, so that sense will cancel the barrier. So now. So no, the first sense did not carry the cancel the barrier, but the second sense will. And Master Luke comes down as well. Okay, here we go. We have our first battle of this game. But no, we do not. Justin has the projected telepathy. Right after we saw that Kevin came down with Ben Kenobi, Master Luke, and his lightsaber, and Leia with blaster rifle. He does initiate, but he did not have any force saved. So that battle is canceled. We saw the Visage of the Emperor ping. Justin does lose Force Lightning. And now we move into Justin's turn. Justin has the sniper in his hand, so he's going to fire Mara Jade's lightsaber. Who will he attempt to hit here? Will it be Master Luke? Will it be Leia? Or will it be Ben Kenobi? Again, Ben Kenobi is able to revive any characters that go lost only during a battle, though. Mara will swing at Master Luke. But we have a dodge. Dodge comes into play. Justin does draw a 5, so that is a 2. Now he needs to draw a 7 here. But no, he draws a 1. So again, that will not hit the Luke. And there's the disarm onto Mara Jade. No more lightsaber for you. Ooh, things are looking rough for Justin. So not only is he losing cards to his own Visage, he's also losing his lightsabers. Justin does get out another docking bay, but I highly doubt he's going to initiate a battle here. Okay, Come Here You Big Coward is played. Now, that is a good card because, wow, Kevin can flip if Justin runs away and Kevin flips, he will not be able to retrieve anything with his objective until he gets out to 2 battlegrounds. And there's Janice Greaves coming down. And Janice is going to put a card back and take a card off top of Justin's deck. And Vader's going to join the fun at the audience chamber. Okay, Piet moves over to the Death Star docking bay now. Piet is a little vulnerable there. But again, this is Justin Desai. So he probably does have a plan. And he moves over, so that way Honor of the Jedi is no longer in effect. So Justin loses the Executor from his hand. And now, because Honor is no longer to effect, Kevin also has to lose, so he loses a sense. Okay, Kevin, we start into Kevin's turn. He does deploy a docking bay with Insurrection. He deploys the Tatooine Docking Bay 94. Probably the most famous of all the docking bays in the game, but not the most played. Okay, Kevin has 2 cards in his hand. He's got 10 force or 10 cards in his force pile. So let's see what he's going to do this turn. He moves out of his deploy phase, so no reinforcements coming down. Will he initiate here? First things first, Justin is going to take a card out of his reserve deck with Crush the Rebellion. He takes the I Have You Now. That is indicating that maybe Kevin doesn't want to initiate now. So Kevin does move past his battle phase and go into his move phase. So he is going to move those characters away. He moves Ben. He should move Luke, and he should move Leia. And now Kevin is, after he moves away, he's going to draw a few cards, reinforcing what he has in his hand. Again, he's only got 11 force to work with each turn, so he does save a card. Okay, and Justin's going to start looping that I Have You Now around with Janice. Okay, here we go. Drain of 1 at the Death Star docking bay. So there goes Leia with Blast Rifle off the top of Kevin's deck. Boba Fett and Slave One joins the fun over Rendalee. So now Justin can move that Janice into the audience chamber and keep Honor of the Jedi not in effect. Or he can docking bay transit Piet over to the Tatooine docking bay, so that way he doesn't get beat down. And I want to say that's what he's going to do here. So he deploys the Emperor to the Tatooine docking bay in 94. Again, he now can start draining on Tatooine. Again, Janice is probably going to run away from that little bit of a ruckus there. Kevin, again, cannot drain on his 0 side anywhere on Tatooine. Okay, Janice moves over with the Emperor. And now will Piet run away? He does. He runs back over to the Executor. So if you're looking at how to play this Premier Death Star 2 format, activation is key. When your opponent is generating 8 less force than you are, that would be indicate of you doing something right. Okay, Visage now procs off. Both players have to lose. Kevin loses Scramble. Justin loses Twilight Advisor. Both players lose from their hand. Again, life force counts are 22 in favor of Justin and 30 in favor of Kevin. But again, Kevin is not doing any points of damage right now. And there's the Spaceport docking bay coming down to Rendley. And we have Order to Engage coming out. Now, I'm not really sure where Kevin's going to come down to battle with yet. Okay, we go into his battle phase. Maybe he's going to move in front of the Emperor. Maybe he's going to move back in front to the audience chamber. I'm not sure. And he does move in front of the audience chamber. So, again, he does have a lightsaber. But now we see him play Someone Who Loves You. So that's going to allow Han to be free. That does flip him. And now he can retrieve the 5-4. So he retrieves Scramble. He retrieves Leia. Master Luke, Sense, and Dodge all go to his use pile. Han is now free. And now Kevin can start doing some damage with his drains. He does move all of his characters back over to the audience chamber to join Leia and Han there. And now he does draw some cards. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, here we go. End of Kevin's turn. Both players again losing to Visage. Justin loses Lord Vader from his hand. Kevin loses Someone Who Loves You from his hand. And we're now back into Justin's turn. So Justin is going to be doing some damage here. Justin is going to be doing a point of damage up at Rendley, and he's going to be doing 2 points of damage at the Tatooine docking bay. Drains 1 at Rendley first. There goes a Sense from his hand. And there goes Drain 2 at the Tatooine docking bay. See another Sense go lost. And Transmission terminated. Transmission terminated off the top of his deck. Again, Transmission terminated is important because it cancels a hologram. That would make that Vicious the Emperor, that annoying little card it is, go to the lost pile. Justin checking out his reserve deck, checking out his Destiny and everything. Does not pull a docking bay, so we see him using Janice here. And there is Darth Vader with his lightsaber. And IG-88 joins the fun. But Kevin has another Rebel Barrier. He Rebel Barriers at IG-88. Does Justin have a response? No response. IG-88 out of the battle. So, will Justin decide to not initiate a battle here and take 3 points, or is it? It's 2. And take 3 points of damage, or will he battle? He does battle. IG-80 is out of the battle. There's going to be 3 battle destiny in favor of Kevin, and Kevin plays weapon levitation to steal Vader's lightsaber. Obi-Wan has control of Vader's lightsaber. This is bad for Justin. Justin does have the I have you now, though. So both players are getting 3 points of battle destiny, but Kevin has all the weapons. Master Luke is going to attempt to return Jabba the Hutt to Kevin's hand, or to Justin's hand. He draws a 1, so that's not going to. That will not work. Leia attempts to shoot Jabba here. Draws a 4. That will hit the Jabba the Hutt. Jabba currently has a huge hole in his face. Han, target Leia. Or Han is going to target Mara Jade. He draws a 1 for that. Han will miss Mara Jade. Who is Luke going to swing at? Luke is going to swing at his future wife, Mara Jade. Well, no longer future wife, but maybe future wife, who knows. Draws a 3 for the first destiny. Needs a 3 or higher to hit. He draws a 1. Luke misses Mara Jade, just like in the books. Justin checking out his destiny. Again, he is going to be getting 3 here. Justin in the chat comments, it's rough, so that is not going to be good. Draws a 1 for his first destiny. Draws a 1 for his second destiny. What will his third destiny be? It's a 1. He draws 3 1s right in a row. That brings him up to 18 power. Kevin, again, has 3 battle destiny of his own. 1 from Leia, 1 from Han, 1 from the ability. Draws a 3 for the first destiny. Again, that will win him this battle. Draws a 1 for the second destiny. And draws a 4 for the third. So that's going to give him 8 total. So it's going to be 8 attrition for Justin and 3 attrition for Kevin. Kevin loses Leia with her blaster rifle. And there goes Vader off the table for Justin to decide. Mara Jade is left alone. And there it is. Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi revives Leia. So Leia is back on the table. That could not have worked out worse for Justin Desai. And all that's left that Justin can do is make Mara Jade run away. Justin, showing that he has no defensive cards, will move the Emperor and Janice with Mara Jade over. So they're all sitting at the Tatooine Jabba's palace. Admiral Piet moves back over to the Death Star this way so Justin can keep honor suspended. And now he is going to draw up He draws up and plays Imperial Command to pull a general or admiral into his hand. Who will he pull? Will it be Ozzel? Will it be General Taj? No, it is Admiral Shirinu. Admiral Shirinu comes out of his hand. There goes the Dagobah Hutt. Dagobah Yoda's Hut off the top of Kevin's used reserve deck, and Bad Feeling Have I from Justin's hand. That is the worst. That is some pretty bad luck for Justin Desai. But again, this is two-time world's champion Justin Desai. So what? How badly can you really feel for this guy? Here we go into Kevin's turn. He activates. He's got 12 force to work with this turn. He's going to make Justin lose one from the objective. And he is going to drain at the audience chamber. Again, because Luke has his lightsaber, he is going to be able to add one to this. And there it is. Justin plays Projective Telepathy to make Kevin pay 2 to drain here. He does add 1 to the drain with Luke's lightsaber, so it is going to be a drain of 2 in favor of Kevin. Justin loses that Shirnu that we saw him pull. And there goes the Projective Telepathy as well. And there's another disarmed. Disarmed onto the IG-88. Now, IG-88 cannot be battled. But, again, he does lose the riot gun, so no capture for IG-88 this game. Kevin using Insurrection to check out the destinies in his decks. There's Obi-Wan's lightsaber coming down to Ben Kenobi. Ben Kenobi, just like in the movies, has 2 lightsabers. He's got Vader's and he's got his own. Too bad he can only swing one of them. Obi-Wan halfway on his way to becoming the new General Grievous. Obi-Wan, collector of lightsabers. And R2 dropping down to the Jabba's Palace site. Again, we saw Bastion play a version of Profit that ran C-3PO and C-3PO spelled out, so he could retrieve some 3 Force. Okay, Justin's going to play Imperial Barrier, targeting that R2. This way, he cannot run into the audience chamber and play a gift and putting a card back into his hand, or into his deck. So R2 is stuck there. Again, this version of the R2, during each of your control phase, may take 1 Hero of 1,000 Devices or a gift into hand from reserve deck. If at a battleground site with C-3PO, may subtract 1 from each opponent's battle destiny at the same and related site. So, not a bad little card. He is Destiny 1 or 6, so good on the Destiny. Okay, let's see what Kevin's going to do here. Is he going to move his Doom stack over to the Jabba's Palace site? Nope, he's gonna. Well, here we go. He's gonna move Ben Kenobi, Leia, and he's gonna draw some. So again, with no weapons there, Justin really can't initiate. So it looks like he's going to take 3 points of damage from that order to engage, unless he finds some way of canceling it. Okay, Justin's going to lose the Chimera from his hand, and Kevin loses Scramble as well. Now we move into Justin's 6th turn. Again, these games are relatively quick, unlike the game nowadays. Justin's only 13 minutes into the game, and he's already on his 6th turn. So, again, this is Star Wars at its finest. Okay, Justin's going to activate. He's going to activate down to 5. He's going to attempt to cancel the order to engage. Again, Justin Desai, master tracker that he is. Did he track down a 1 to cancel the order to engage here? He did track down to a 1. He draws Lord Vader. Now, that does become a 4 with his objective. So, again, that is enough because the Emperor is on the table. So that order to engage will go to Kevin's use pile, though, as wise advice is on the table. Emperor is going to attempt to take Force Lightning into his hand. Okay, we see some drains occurring. One drain at Rendley, one drain at the Death Star. There goes a Sense off the top of Kevin's reserve deck. And there goes Chewie as well. Okay, again, with order to engage off the table, Justin does not have to battle here. He is in his control phase, so he does use I Have You Now to, or Crush the Rebellion to search for an I Have You Now or Evader. Does not find one, though, so he does know what destinies he has in his deck. So with Jared Napolitano in the chat, I have to ask, does Justin, so what are the players playing for in reality? Because I know that Justin advances into the top 4, so are they really playing for anything, or is this just for funsies? Okay, there goes Janice using his game text to put a card back and draw a card off the top of the reserve deck. Wow. That's actually a really good prize. Yeah. What does the person who's doing commentary get for this? I like that. Okay, we are still in. So Justin does move into his battle phase, and he does move into his deploy phase. So he's going to move away. No, make it reflections too. That way you can use the combo cards. Justin's a really good guy, so I'm not surprised by that in any shape. Okay, IG88 comes over to reinforce. Instead of moving that Mara J, the Emperor, and Janice away, Justin reinforces with IG88. Interesting. Okay, Justin does draw a few cards. He's got 13 left in his life force. Kevin has 23. Also, I don't know if you can see this, Jared, but I kind of need a new poker chip. I use it as my golf token and my golf ball marker, so I need a new one. Okay, there we go. Tunnel vision into out of Kevin's deck. He takes a card into his hand. Yeah, you know, I'd love to have some ones for Worlds, because I think we're talking about doing a golf outing. That would be really cool. Give those away to everybody who participates. Okay. Kevin uses his objective to make Justin lose 2. He has to lose 2 to the objective. He loses It's Worse and a Imperial Command. And there's a projected telepathy to make Kevin use 2 to drain for 2 at the audience chamber. Okay, here we go. Drain of 2 at the audience chamber. What will Justin lose? There goes a Mara Jade from his hand. And he's still deciding on the last card he wants to lose. And he's going to lose a barrier from his hand as well. Okay, R2 is going to attempt to look for a card out of Kevin's reserve deck. He does take the I get a gift into hand. Wow, I could not say a gift to save my life. And he does look for a docking bay, so interesting. So he didn't really need to look for the docking bay. I think he was just more focused on looking for a gift. And there is Hark Seth coming down. Hark Seth, old school Hark Seth. While at a battleground site, whenever you must lose force from a force drain at an adjacent site, you may reduce the force by X using X force. So theoretically, yeah, I was going to say we could see Justin move Ben and Leia away. And then just use Hark Seth to cancel the drain. And R2 is into the audience chamber. So now, drains where Justin has aliens are -1. No, it's, that's what I was looking for. Yep. Battle Destiny draws are -2. Force drains are -1. So that drain of 3 at the Jabba's Palace site would be a drain of 2. And with Hark Seth there, you're not losing anything. I'm a little surprised that he didn't move Ben over to the docking bay, though. This way, you're forcing the Emperor would be stuck there. Yeah, I would have moved Leia and Ben over, and then that would be a drain of 2 as well. But it kind of does make sense. But we'll see what happens here. Here we go. Justin has to lose to Visage. He loses Alter. Kevin loses Ben Kenobi from his hand. He's got 3 force saves, so again, that is a drain of 3 there. -1 from a gift, and then he gets to subtract up to X from Hark Seth. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Chris. Okay, got a drain at 1 at the docking bay. There goes another Master Luke. He loses the motion as well to the drain at Rendley. Okay, so here it is. Drain of 2 at the Jabba's Palace site. Now, he does have to use... You'd have to use 2 here to cancel that drain. There's the response from Hark Seth. He does use the 2. And now that drain is 0. Yeah, I don't like just moving Leia by herself there. Because of this reason right here. Vader coming down to against Leia. Does Kevin have a barrier here? No barrier. We are into Justin's battle phase. Vader against Leia. Dad against daughter. Who is going to survive this? Leia is going to attempt to shoot Vader. Needs a 6 to hit him. Draws a 4. Vader will not be hit. Again, Vader does have some immunity, and Leia does not, so... And there's a Destiny of 6. That's going to bring Justin up to 13. What will Kevin draw? Kevin draws a 3. That's going to be 6 to 13. Down by 7. Leia, it's going to be Leia and 1 for Kevin. Vader gets to stick around. Here we go into Justin's move phase. Kevin currently at 18, 20 hand in life. Yeah. Even a scrub like me realized that. Come on. Okay, visage damage. There goes an order to the gauge off the top of the reserve deck. Desai loses security precautions. Kevin currently has 17 in life force, 2 in hand. Justin has 10 in life force, 3 in hand. Again, Justin won game 1 by 16. He's got to do 3 more points of damage. Then he can essentially scoop up. Got a drain of 3 at the audience chamber. There goes the Emperor. There goes the Twilight Advisor, both off the top of the reserve deck. There goes Raider's Lightsaber as well. Kevin having activated 12. He's got 5-4 saved in his reserve deck. He's got 2 cards in his hand. What is he going to do here? Well, first thing he's going to do is check his destiny. Uses Insurrection to check his destiny. Justin does get a free verify. We go out of the deploy phase into the battle phase. And he draws up. And he now is under the threshold of 16. He draws up. He's got 7 cards in his hand. He's got 12 cards in his life force. Justin loses I Have You Now from his hand. Kevin loses What We're Trying to Push on Us from his reserve deck. He's sitting at 11. He's clearly looking for an on the edge. He's looking for something. Justin double checking his life force options. He won by 15. No, he won by 16. Justin thinking he won by 15. Kevin correcting him, telling him he won by 16. An on the edge would help out here. Justin playing it smart. Instead of just drawing up here, he is going to first do some damage. There goes a glancing blow from Kevin's hand. Drain of 1 at Rendley. Again, he's going to have to lose from the hand here. There goes Han with Heavy Blaster Pistol. Again, if Kevin does have the on the edge and he has a 6 on top, says 5. Oh, never mind. Good point. Thank you, Chris Kelly. Chris Kelly, who is going to be my opponent next week on Holo Theater in a match of, Win Chris Kelly's Design. Don't worry, I'm going to have a special graphic for this one because it's going to be fun. If he wins, he gets a foil card. If I win and beat Chris Kelly, the 2021 Guest of the Year will get to design a V card at some point. They will have the option to design any card they want. Kevin wins the game. Justin loses off the top of his reserve deck to Visage at the end of the game. Again, Kevin has 10 cards in his life force. Not enough. He loses the match by 6. So Justin Desai wins this exhibition match of the Retro event. Again, we are currently set with 3 of the top 4 in the Retro event's top 4. Justin Desai, Joe Olsen, and Bastian Winkelhaus. All world champions. Will it be Hayes Hunter or will it be COTVG? Who is COTVG? Come on, Jared. Tell me who they are. Will it be one of those two? We will find out tomorrow. Andrew, thank you. Will it be Hayes? Will it be Andrew? Again, find out tomorrow. Jared Napolitano has the live cast of the game, which will be cast tomorrow morning at a time that I'm not currently sure of. I should have looked this up. It will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. the Best Coast. So 6 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you tune in for that. Jared will be covering this right on this channel. Until then, good night. Again, next week on the Holo Theater, it will be Chris Kelly, myself, and Kendall Hallman to discuss the new Jawa format, Summer, the Sandcrawler Summer. So be on the lookout for that. And until then, as always, I'm Dan Tartaglione. Everybody have a good night and enjoy your weekend. Take care.